Sword Art Online progressive sequel raises the stakes for Asuna's journey and exposure. The author also works as senior English news editor for Crunchyroll News, and a digital screener was provided for the film. Despite the fact that Kirito, Asuna, and the rest of the Sword Art Online cast have really been put through the winger over the years, the first arc remains the most quintessential Sao. With that in mind, it makes sense that author Riki Kawahara revisited anchored arc in the Sword Art Online progressive spin-like novels, which take us through familiar territory from a different perspective, rather than keeping our sights set firmly on Kirito for the entire run. Progressive takes a look at the events from the eyes of Asuna, resulting in a theatrical two-partner that's both fresh and familiar. The first part, Sword Art Online the movie, Progressive, Aria of a Starless Night, already had screenings outside of Japan. It's now available to stream on Crunchyroll, so it's time to turn our attention toward the sequel, Sword Art Online Progressive Skirmisho of Deep Night, ahead of the US theatrical run on February 3. When we last left our dead game heroes, they had just cleared the first floor of a Wobby 100, defeating the boss with the help of some site inside that Kirito and other beta testers had into its various attack patterns. As we learned then, that everything is the same as it was in the Sword Online beta, so even the most experienced of players are constantly dealing with curveballs and attempts to avoid dying in the game, and thus also in real life, and ultimately completed. Doing so is going to take some time, and 2 months later, we find everyone on the cusp of conquering the 5th floor. It turns out that doing will unlock an insanely rare reward, one that will benefit whichever of the 2 main guilds happens to get their hands on it. Like any good story, this portion reveals that there's more than meets the eye to the threats within this game, and that clearing floors will soon be the least of everyone's concerns. In addition to an impending war between the guilds, Owls, Anchor Liberation Squad, and DKB, Dragon Knight's Brigade, there's a looming threat of nefarious player killers. These players don't care about clearing the game and escaping. They just want to kill as many players as they can, and by any means necessary. Thanks to the nature of the situation between Sword Art Online, that makes them cold-blooded murderers at both the virtual and real worlds. Skirmisho of Deep Night spends a small chunk of its running time setting up these conflicts, but there's only so much you can squish into 100 minutes, so the focus lies on Asuna and Kirito's attempt to squash a potential guild war before it ever gets off the ground. To do so, they had to get their modest but powerful group together to take down their 5th floor guardian. However, one of the guilds can do so surreptitiously, without giving anything away. This all culminates in an exciting battle that highlights where the production house A1 Pictures really shines these big screen spines of the story. Outside the combat, the progressive films don't stray too far from the aesthetic of the Sword Online TV anime. This is more of a nod toward the high standard A1 Pictures has established over the years, and a sign of the quality of the production. The movies look sharp and the sparks really fly once battles are underway. They also do an admirable job of animating a poolside, swimsuit-clad duel between Asuna and a banana-wielding Argo, a very light bit of fan service in an otherwise squeaky clean action adventure film. It's been a while since I watched the first Sword Online series, but I've been enjoying seeing it all play out from Asuna's point of view. I have no major issues with Kirito, but he's very much the god gamer archetype, who is performance-wise damn near infallible. We can never really concerned with Asuna's well-being during both movies. She brings a more survivalist perspective to the proceedings, rather than fulfilling the wish of, what if I were better than literally everyone else at this video game? She embodies the more grounded goal of, what if I got good enough at these video games to avoid dying a horrible death? She also learns a hard lesson about trust that pays off in a satisfying way in Skirmisho of Deep Night, and her growth is palpable, even over the course of just a couple of movies. It sure beats having to watch her sit in the birdcage for half a season. Sword Online Progressive Skirmisho of Deep Night is fast-paced and a little more interesting than its predecessor, and both combine to make a fun two-parter that every Sword Online fan should check out. Even if you're into the series yet, there's nothing here holding it back as an entry point. As long as you watch the first progressive movie, you'll be good to go when this one opens. Sword Online Progressive Skirmisho of Deep Night opens in US cinemas on February 3.